Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Brian and in today's video I'm going to be doing a review of this cross dowel jig made by Woodpecker. So the first question is, what is a cross dowel? And so here you can see a cross dowel at the end of my connector bolt, and these cross dowels are used in furniture that is knockdown furniture. And so by knockdown we're able to break it down, pack it flat, and ship it someplace. So much of the furniture that you buy nowadays online would come packed flat, and they would use knockdown furniture connectors. This is in lieu of traditional types of joinery that would require you to ship an item at its full size, completely assembled. Here you can see an example of an item that I made, a skateboard rack that I used to make with fixed woodworking joinery. So I'd make mortises on the side and a tinion on this piece and interlock the woodworking joinery. But this means I have to ship this at its full size. So instead I started using cross dowels for this. And so here we've got a cross dowel, a small cross dowel. And then we have our through screw, and you can see these on our project. And this allows me, the nice feature is that this allows me to pack this flat and then just ship it to its final destination so it can be assembled there, and the volume of what I'm shipping is much smaller and therefore much less expensive. This shows you the primary challenge in creating a cross dowel connection. Here we need to put our connector bolt through a hole that lines up with our cross dowel. So this alignment ends up being a primary challenge, and this is the purpose of the cross dowel jigs. Here you can see everything that comes with the Woodpecker's Universal Cross Dowel Jig, or at least the Deluxe kit. This includes size 10 drill bushings, 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 3/8. And for guide bushings, which are these bushings on top, this includes 3/8, 1/2 inch, and 5/8 of an inch. So let's go back to our original problem. Our original problem is that we need to drill into our end grain properly and aligned with a hole that back here on the face of the board, so that we can put in our cross dowel and have our connector bolt line up with that. So this jig is from Woodpecker, is what was designed for this purpose. And what it allows us to do is, with the drill bushings, we can adjust the location in the vertical direction here for where the hole will occur, and also along the face of our board, or right here, we can adjust this and move this back and forth so that we can change the location of our cross dowel. Now this flexibility to change the location is both a blessing and a curse in some sense, and that if you're only going to drill one type of cross dowel, then you might want this into one type of wood, that is, you might just want this to be a fixed depth. And there are some jigs that come with a fixed location. But if you're going to change the sizes of the wood, the thicknesses of the wood, and the location of how or where this cross dowel needs to be, then you might want a jig like this that has the flexibility of doing that. Now here's a quick video of the cross dowel jig being used. I wanted to give you a quick tip to drill a hole that is not too deep but exactly at the right depth. And as a reminder, what we want is we want our cross dowel, when we put it into the hole, to be flush with the workpiece, the face of the workpiece. To get this when you're drilling, one way to do this is to put your drill and your cross dowel in here and figure out the height that you need to have. And so this is the stack height. And then we can take our tape, put this at that height, and then when we drill, we want our tape to go flush with the top of the drill bushing, and then we'll have a hole that's at the right depth. With regards to a recommendation, I really can't make a recommendation because it depends on who you are. So instead, I'm going to offer you or talk about some of the features that I like and some others that maybe you should consider. So the first feature that I like about this guide is that it's made of aluminum, so it's sturdy, it feels strong, it feels like it's going to be durable and it's going to last a long time. I like that. I also like where it's made. That may not matter to some, but it matters to me to some extent. Another thing that I thought was interesting is that in comparison to some of the jigs on the market, I noticed that the bushings are a little bit higher, and this helps with the alignment, so you do not get any, you get less free play in this drill bit when you're drilling. And adjustability. So again, the adjustability is kind of good and bad. Adjustability is good in that you can use this jig to do a wide number of types of furniture and connections that you might have in your shop. And if you do not do a lot of the same connection, then that would be beneficial. If you do the same connection over and over, you might want fixed drill guide locations and a separate inexpensive jig for each piece of furniture that you make. So some other things that come to mind are clamp size. I forgot to mention clamp size. So the clamp size, the face that you need to clamp on is primarily here and here, and it's nice to have this beefy area for you to clamp onto. It's also nice that it's not made of plastic, so that when you clamp down on this, you don't feel like you're going to break it. If I were to complain about something, I would say that I wish in addition to these common size bushings, they would have provided the common size drills that you would use for those bushings. And lastly, if I were to complain about something, I would complain about the cost. So the cost of this cross dowel jig is a little more expensive than others. Again, that speaks to the durability, adjustability, and some trade-offs, and whether you need the ability to change these positions on your cross dowel jig or not. If you want them in a fixed location, then you might be able to get away with something less expensive, or if you need fewer bushings, you might also be able to get away with something less expensive, and maybe you should look around. So that wraps it up for today. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you enjoy your time in the shop.